Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees for Saturday Bhagavatam study. So we are seeing a very beautiful conversation which is happening between Narada and Vyasadeva as they wanted to diagnose what is the problem which is going through. After writing so many scriptures, he is feeling disappointed. He is wanting a solution. From this, we see that how no matter how we grow externally, should always do a review of our internal aspects, especially how we are physically satisfied in life, how we are mentally satisfied, how we are intellectually satisfied, and how we are spiritually satisfied. This we need to do a review. No matter how externally you may be planning about things to do in life, it's a regular thing. Health wise, am I maintaining my health properly? Am I mental wise, mind wise? Am my relationships are proper or not? Is there somewhere I need to improve? Similarly, spiritual wise also we should, if my sadhana is going properly or not. There's something, am I not addressing the right thing? Yesterday, I was very inspired by the Bhagavatam class which Srinitaya Prabhu took in town. Just speaking on the that how Nityananda Prabhu forcefully ensuring each of his associates drink the nectar of holy name. So he's telling that Guru takes this responsibility to ensuring that uh, the sadhaka disciples take the holy name very serious. Take the holy name seriously means take to that heart, chanting of Hare Krishna very serious. He said most of the times we are only the holy name goes in the background as a music, background music, and we are with our mind planning many things. That's how our chanting is generally. We chant, we see our mind is planning many things, and the background music ke roop mein chanting is going on. He says, unless one doesn't have that absorption, chanting, and with the intensity to connect to Krishna, relate with Krishna in the holy name. So, sometimes we need to do that type of review, doing our own consciousness. Am I doing it properly? So, like that, Vyasdev was in that sincere endeavor to review his own heart. And at the time, Narada appeared and started finding two faults, two defects he found in Vyasadev's work, entire selfless work. Work is not for himself, but selfless work. That is that he has overemphasized the materialistic ideas in terms of giving plans about enjoying this material world. And then he gave the overemphasis on dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the purusharthas, the four purusharthas. But he has hardly glorified. Hardly means he has glorified to some extent, but not repeatedly. He has not repeatedly emphasized on the importance of the Pancham Purushartha, that is the Bhakti Yoga. So these two defects he finds out. And now the section comes where Vyasadeva is being further given a proper analysis on this by Narada, elaborating on this aspect, what he has done and what is important. This way, Narada not only finding the defect, but is also giving an opportunity for Vyasadeva to understand the glories of pure devotional service. We have with us very wonderful devotee here, Somnath Prabhu. So in my local preaching, when I started in Calcutta, there was a very difficult time where I went through, where I was asking Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, even one Bengali doesn't become devotee. Very tough ho jata hai to make one devotee. So Maharaj said, if you can make one Bengali into devotee is equivalent to making 10 people outside into devotees. So, so from that time onwards, I started, and Maharaj gave a mercy garland to me. And he asked me, okay, don't worry. You keep your connection strong with your superiors, with the guru and with the preceptors, with the spiritual mentors. And then you go ahead. So I was very happy. And after that time I was preaching in Kadakpur. And I think Kadakpur, hardly somebody is becoming Bengali is a devotee. And in the next year only, fortunately, their preaching came out to in Prabhu. So you're the first Bengali in our Kadakpur voice to take very seriously Bhakti and go ahead. So that was, I felt it is a great success. At least एक banda Bengali delivered. Later on, when I came to for deity department in Calcutta, I had no other option than doing local preaching. Till then, the courage was for doing what do you call the IIT preaching or NIT preaching. Local preaching के लिए craze नहीं था. So the moment I came in here, by the support and mercy of Dauji Kripapu, I got into local preaching. And then he gave me a lot of wonderful glimpse of about the various aspects of the local preaching. And with him, I used to serve in various ways, local preaching. And in that local preaching over a years, many wonderful Bengali devotees came out. I was very surprised to see that. Yes, Bengali also can become a wonderful. And among that preaching is one here, Somnath. He was the pioneer in the Motijil preaching. That Motijil area we were preaching to one in PGs. One devotee, all of you know, may Priyaswar, all of them know, Shivam Prabhu, Kadakpur pass out. Shivam Prabhu. He used to go and do follow up of this batch, and then from there came many Lord Shivas, what you call, many devotees who are having Shiva's name. Just wait. Many devotees came in the Shivas. So one is Somnath and one was Rudranath, Rudra, and one more devotee was there, Mahadev. We got a lot of that devotees who were very sincere, sincere in their practice of bhakti. And this Prabhu, Somnath Prabhu, is very hardworking, very devotional. He sings very wonderfully. So here is singing, you will reminded of Bhaktichar Maharaj. He had a great inspiration in his life to take initiation from Param Puja Sir Bhaktichar Swami Maharaj. Moho Krishna has some other plan for him. And he worked in many, he did automobile engineering, and then he was had a lot of craze for many cars. And he worked in many car companies. And later on, he was inspired to become a brahmachari. Right now, Prabhuji is taking blessings of many devotees and getting into brahmachari ashram. His father was a military man. In spite of all these aspects, he somehow was able to convince them and take up to this step of surrendering to this path. And he's joining Newtown Ashram and he's serving in various ways, especially taking care of the cows in Goshala. And he has many ideas. Only time will reveal that out and manifest them outside. We have him here. He will be speaking from Srimad Bhagavatam, that particular section where Narada is further diagnosing the in detail. He has already diagnosed in
Sound is not
Hare Krishna, Somnath, you want me to share the screen?
Tuesday I can share the screen.
Okay, I'll just give the. You see, you get the you'll able to do that.
So I hope that you are able to see my screen too. So, thank you, Kamaraj Prabhu and all the devotees for the opportunity to speak on this very wonderful
Your voice
subject.
is very low. You have to keep your mic close
Yes,
to your mouth.
Yes, bro. Hare Krishna. अभी ठीक है ना प्रभु? Now it's clear, bro.
I think without that, can you speak? Take out this mic. The whole directly laptop has some mic.
लैपटॉप है माइक बट क्या होता है कि मतलब आउटपुट जो है तो मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता है क्या वे आई एम स्पीकिंग दैट्स व्हाई
Okay, fine. Now you can.
so thank you Balram and Kamaraj for giving me this opportunity to speaking on this wonderful subject matter from Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm starting from the text 10. I'll not go to the shloka. I'll start from the translation and purport. So the translation of the text 10. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, which alone can satisfy the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. So in this translation, we can see, and we will go through purport, and we will see what Prabhupada is want to tell to us. So crows and swans are not birds of the same feather. Crows and swans दोनों कभी एक ही ग्रुप का बर्ड नहीं होता है. एक होता है कि बहुत शांत प्रकृति का होता है, अच्छे जगह में रहते हैं, और जो क्रोज होता है वो बहुत डर्टी जगह में गार्बेज में रहते हैं. Because of their different mental attitudes, the fruity workers are passionate men are compared to the crows. तो यहाँ पे fruity workers and passionate men जो है उनको crow के साथ compare किया गया है. Whereas the all perfect saintly persons are compared to swans. और जो saintly person साधु होता है उनको swan और राजहंस के साथ compare किया गया है. The crows take pleasure in a place where garbage is thrown out, just as the passionate fruity workers take pleasure in wine and women and places for gross sense pleasure. तो प्रभुपाद जी यहाँ पे बोले हैं कि जो मेटेरियलिस्टिक लोग होता है दे आर लाइक द क्रोज, और वो लोग कहाँ पे प्लेजर लेते हैं. दे टेक प्लेजर इन फ्रूटी वर्कर्स, पूरा दिन काम करने में, और फिर लास्ट में दिन का एंड में दे टेक प्लेजर इन वाइन एंड वुमेन एंड दे आर जस्ट लूजिंग देयर लाइफ. Yet from the purport we can see the important points that yet with all that they do not glorify the Lord. ये इतना कुछ कर देते हैं. जैसे आप कोई भी एक मेटेरियलिस्टिक मैन को भी देखेंगे, वो भी बहुत मेहनत करते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी इतना कुछ करने के बाद भी वो लोग वो पूरा काम की जो रिजल्ट है उससे भगवान का थोड़ा सा ग्लोरिफिकेशन वो नहीं कर रहे. और या फिर डायरेक्टली मे बी दे कैन आल्सो डू इनडायरेक्टली बाय गिविंग देयर फ्रूट्स ऑफ वर्क टू फॉर सर्विस ऑफ कृष्णा, बट दैट आल्सो दे डू नॉट डू. सो दैट्स व्हाई यहाँ पे क्या बोला, ये विद ऑल दैट दे डू नॉट ग्लोरीफाई द लॉर्ड. Such poetry and prose or any subject matter is considered as decoration of a dead body. तो यहाँ पे जैसे Narad Muni was correcting Vyasdev about his previous scriptures of the Vedas, जो डायरेक्टली भगवान को ग्लोरीफाई नहीं किए थे. वो सारे स्क्रिप्चर्स के बारे में बता रहे कि वो स्क्रिप्चर, वो शास्त्र जो भगवान को डायरेक्टली ग्लोरीफाई नहीं करते, तो वो सब क्या है कि लाइक डेकोरेशन इन डेड बॉडी. एक जो शरीर, एक इंसान जब मर जाता है, मतलब जब सोल बॉडी को छोड़ के चले जाते हैं, तो वो बॉडी को डेकोरेट करने के बाद वो क्या फायदा होता है, क्योंकि जो देही है उसका अंदर जो देही और सोल है वो अभी नहीं है. तो इसीलिए तो वो जो स्क्रिप्चर्स है उसको भी ऐसे ही कंपेयर किया गया है. एंड हु आर स्पिरिचुअली डेड, मतलब ये जो स्क्रिप्चर्स है इसमें जो लोग प्लेजर्स लेते हैं, आनंद लेते हैं, वो कौन लोग होता है, वो लोग होता है जो स्पिरिचुअली डेड, उनका स्पिरिचुअली कुछ पता नहीं है, कुछ स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज का कुछ पता नहीं है, भक्ति का कुछ पता नहीं है. दे आर जस्ट बिजी इन देयर मटेरियल अफेयर्स, मटेरियल थिंग्स. social literary men, scientists, mundane poets, theoretical philosophers, politicians who are completely absorbed in the material advancement of sense pleasure. All are dolls of material energy. They take pleasure in a place where rejected subject matters are thrown. According to Swami Sridhar, this is the pleasure of the prostitute hunters. तो यहाँ पे श्रीधर स्वामी ने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से इसको मतलब एक टर्म भी यूज किया है, prostitute hunters. तो कितना डिग्रेडेड हो सकते हैं जो लोग prostitute hunters होता है. तो इन सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ वे यहाँ पे दो तीन कैटेगरीज दिखाए हैं, जैसे सोशल लिटरेरी मैन, जैसे हम लोग का बंगाल में बहुत अलग अलग फेमस नोबेलिस्ट है और नोबेल लॉरिएट है, जो लोग नोबेल प्राइज मिला है उनको स्क्रिप्चर लिखने के लिए, और भी बहुत सारे हैं जैसे आर.एन. टेगर है, ऐसे बहुत लोग हैं, और साइंटिस्ट भी बहुत है, मांडन पोएट्स है जो पोएम्स लिखते हैं, फिलोसोफर्स भी है, पॉलिटिशियंस है, बट वो लोग क्या करते हैं, कंप्लीटली एब्जॉर्ब्ड इन मटेरियल एडवांसमेंट, या तो मटेरियल एडवांसमेंट में लगे हैं या सेंस प्लेजर में लगे हैं. ऑल आर डॉल्स ऑफ मटेरियल. वो मटेरियल नेचर का जो थ्री मोड्स है, सत्व रजोगुण तमोगुण, बेसिकली रजोगुण तमोगुण, उसमें वो लोग डांस कर रहे हैं, जस्ट दैट द इन्फ्लुएंस बाय द टू मोड्स एंड द डांसिंग. दे टेक प्लेजर इन द प्लेस वेयर रिजेक्टेड सब्जेक्ट मैटर. जो चीज नहीं पढ़ना चाहिए वो लोग वही चीज पढ़ रहे हैं. मतलब लाइक गार्बेज में जो चीज फेंक दिया जाता है उसको नहीं खाना चाहिए, क्वालिटी सड़ गया, लेकिन फिर भी ये लोग को इतना उसमें टेस्ट है कि वो लोग उसी में वो लोग को मजा मिलता है, प्लेजर मिलता है. ओके, बट लिटरेचर्स व्हिच डिस्क्राइब द ग्लोरीज ऑफ द लॉर्ड आर एंजॉयड बाय परमहंसस. लेकिन जो परमहंस होता है वो लोग क्या करते हैं, वो लोग ऐसा गार्बेज डस्टबिन में नहीं जाते, वो वही स्क्रिप्चर पे एक्सेप्ट करते हैं और पढ़ते हैं जो डायरेक्टली भगवान को ग्लोरीफाई कर रहे हैं. We have grasped the essence of human activity. तो जो डिवोटीज होता है, परमहंस होता है, वो ह्यूमन लाइफ का जो एसेंस है, दैट्स भक्ति, उसको ऑलरेडी एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं. So we are able to see these important points on the 10th sloka. Now the 11th sloka, the very important sloka, and I have seen that in many places. Prabhupada also quoted this sloka. The translation: on the other hand, that literature which is full of description of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is different creation, full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world, misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. तो हम लोग यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं कि जो लिटरेचर पहले प्रभुपाद जी ने इससे पहले वाला जो श्लोक है वहां पे ट्रांसलेशन में बताया कि वो सारे शास्त्र जो रिजेक्टेड बट स्टिल द मटेरियलिस्टिक मेन दे टेक प्लेजर फ्रॉम देयर एंड दे आर लाइक द क्रोस एंड द सेंट्री पर्सन आर लाइक swans. जैसे बोला जाता है कि आई जस्ट रिमेंबर वन पॉइंट फ्रॉम वन लेक्चर आई हैड फ्रॉम स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर, दैट्स कॉल्ड सारग्राही वैष्णव. द वैष्णवस कॉल्ड सारग्राही बिकॉज दे आर लाइक द swans. दे टेक फ्रॉम the good things from the bad bargain, good out of the bad bargain. I just remember the point. So like उनको अगर कोई मिल्क और पानी एक साथ मिला के दिया जाएगा, लेकिन स्वान उसमें मिल्क ले लेगा और पानी को छोड़ देगा. That's one of the quality of the Vaishnava. Always see the good things in others. So and also always accept the good out of the bad. On the other hand, the literature which is full of descriptions of transcendental glories. अभी हम लोग वो शास्त्र देख रहे हैं जिसमें भगवान का नाम, रूप, गुण, लीला, ये सारी चीज को डिस्क्राइब किया जाता है. अब द अनलिमिटेड लॉर्ड, वो अनंत भगवान, इस डिफरेंट क्रिएशन, वो अलग सृष्टि है, फुल ऑफ ट्रांसेंडेंटल वर्ड्स डायरेक्टेड टुवर्ड ब्रिंगिंग अबाउट द रिवोल्यूशन इन द इम्पायर्स लाइव्स ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड्स मिसडायरेक्टेड सिविलाइजेशन. और वो शास्त्र का जो एक एक शब्द है उसमें इतना क्षमता रखते हैं कि ये जो भौतिक दुनिया है, इसका जो भौतिकवादी जो जिंदगी है, इसमें पूरा एक क्रांति ला सकता है. Transcendental literature, even though imperfectly composed, हो सकता है वो लिटरेचर लिखने में थोड़ा सा कुछ टर्म्स या कुछ छोटा मोटा गलती हो जाए, फिर भी वो सारे शास्त्र को सारे जो संत महात्मा लोग थे उसको गाते हैं, उसको सुनते हैं और बार बार पढ़ते हैं. यहाँ पे बार हम लोग इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट देख रहे हैं. इट इज अ क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ द ग्रेट थिंकर्स टू पिक अप द बेस्ट इवन फ्रॉम द वर्स्ट. तो एक महान आत्मा का जो क्वालिटी होता है वो क्या होता है, वो खराब के अंदर में भी अच्छा चीज को ढूंढ लेता है. इट इज सेड जैसे प्रभुपाद जी जब अमेरिका गए थे वहां पे सारे हिप्पीज था, बट स्टिल आउट ऑफ द हिप्पीज दे चूज द पीपल एंड दे मेड देम he trained them and he made them into devotees, and they also became sannyasis. They also became pure devotees. It is said that intelligent man should pick up nectar from a stalk of poison, should accept gold even from filthy place. तो इवन एक ड्रेन है, जैसे हम लोग कभी कभी बंगाल में देखते हैं, बहुत पुअर लोग होता है, पुअर पीपल्स, दे टेक आउट गोल्ड फ्रॉम द ड्रेन्स. आई हैव सीन इन माय होम टाउन मिदनापुर दैट मतलब हो सकता है दे हैव इंटेलिजेंस बट दे आर वेरी पुअर. सो वो लोग क्या करते हैं कि लाइवलीहुड चलाने के लिए वो लोग ड्रेन में जाते हैं और वहां पे मतलब जो गोल्ड स्मिथ शॉप होता है या सॉरी जो गोल्ड का मैन्युफैक्चरर्स होता है शॉप होता है उसका बाहर का जगह में जो ड्रेन होता है वहां से वो गोल्ड को ढूंढ के निकालते हैं धूली के अंदर से. तो similar kind of a way should accept a good and qualified wife even from an obscure family, and should accept a good lesson even from a man or from a teacher who comes from the untouchables. तो जैसे हम लोग देखते हैं कि स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर जो होता है उसका भी कोई ऐसा जाति वर्ण ऐसा भेद नहीं होता है. जैसे बोलते हैं कि कीवा विप्र कीवा शूद्र ऐसे करके कुछ श्लोक है, जय कृष्ण तत्ववेत्ता सही गुरु है. आई डोंट रिमेंबर द होल श्लोक. तो वहां पे प्रभुपाद जी हैज टोल्ड दैट जो गुरु होता है वो हो सकता है कि ही इज कमिंग फ्रॉम अ शूद्र फैमिली, ही इज कमिंग फ्रॉम ब्राह्मण फैमिली, बट इफ ही इज एबल टू टेल अबाउट द कृष्ण तत्व ही इज अ स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर. तो ऐसे ही यहाँ पे प्रभुपाद जी बोल रहे हैं कि मे बी द पर्सन इज कमिंग फ्रॉम अनटचेबल फैमिली बट he also can become a teacher. He also become a teacher, okay, on the spiritual subject matter, because he has cultivated that spirituality and bhakti aspect are some of the ethical instructions for everyone in every place without exception. But a saint is far above the level of an ordinary man. एक साधु जो होता है वो नॉर्मल साधारण व्यक्ति से बहुत ऊपर का स्तर में रहता है. चाहे इस दुनिया में कोई भी अमीर आदमी क्यों ना हो जाए, चाहे वो अंबानी क्यों ना हो जाए, चाहे वो लाखपति अरबपति क्यों ना हो जाए, लेकिन संत जो होता है संत वो सबसे ऊपर में रहता है. He is always absorbed in glorifying the Supreme Lord, because by broadcasting the holy name and form of the Supreme Lord, the polluted atmosphere of the world will change. वो हमेशा भगवान का नाम रूप गुण लीला ये ग्लोरीफाई कीर्तन करते रहते हैं, हमेशा हरे कृष्ण कीर्तन करते रहते हैं और भक्ति का प्रचार करते हैं, जिससे क्या होता है ये दुनिया का जो गंदगी भरा हुआ वातावरण है ये पूरा चेंज हो जाएगा, परिवर्तन हो जाएगा. एंड रिजल्ट ऑफ प्रोपगेटिंग द ट्रांसेंडेंटल लिटरेचर लाइक श्रीमद् भागवतम, पीपल विल बिकम सेन. और ये जो भागवतम है इसको हम लोग जितना फैलाएंगे लोगों के अंदर प्रचार करेंगे तो सब लोग क्या होगा, अभी इंसेन है पागल है उससे सेन बनेगा, वो उसका दिमाग ठीक हो जाएगा, वो सेन बनेगा, वो साधु बनेगा. Yet we see that previously or there were both China and India, they both lived peacefully. तो यहाँ प्रभुपाद जी बोले हैं कि एक टाइम था जब चाइना और इंडिया में वार हो रहा था, लेकिन वो बोल रहे थे कि मैं जब बचपन में था उस टाइम देखता था कि दोनों कंट्री आराम से रहते थे, शांति से. The reason is that they lived those days in an atmosphere of God consciousness, and every country over the surface of the world was God fearing, pure hearted and simple. There was no question of political diplomacy. बोल रहे कि पहले का टाइम में इवन हम लोग अगर अभी से 150 साल पीछे भी चले जाएंगे, जस्ट 150 years बैक, उस टाइम में भी सारे जो देश था उसमें बहुत लोग था जो लोग भगवान में विश्वास करते थे और वैदिक कल्चर को एक्सेप्ट करते थे और ऐसे अपना जिंदगी बिताते थे, इसीलिए बहुत शांति बना के रहते थे. लेकिन अभी क्या है कि छोटा छोटा चीज में बहुत क्वारल हो जाते हैं, बट ड्यू टू द एज ऑफ क्वारल of Kali, which we have discussed, there is always a chance of quarrel on slight provocation. तो कली का ये प्रभाव है कि थोड़ा सा कुछ इधर उधर हो जाए, इधर से इधर, उसी से उसमें क्या होता है, क्वारल शुरू हो जाता है, एक वर्ल्ड वॉर शुरू हो जाता है. Systematically, there is propaganda by a section of people to stop glorification of the name and fame of the Supreme Lord. और अभी का दिन में क्या है कि सोसाइटी में एक प्रोपागेंडा चल रहा है, कैसे करके धर्म को, भगवान का नाम गुण का जो ग्लोरिफिकेशन है उसको कैसे बंद किया जाए. It is the duty of every responsible Indian to broadcast the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the world to do all the supermost good. तो ये भारतीय का हर एक इंडियन का कर्तव्य है कि ये भागवतम का जो मैसेज है ये पूरे दुनिया में बांटना चाहिए, सबको देना चाहिए ताकि सबका हम लोग भला कर पाए. Because India has failed in her duty by neglecting this responsible work. There is so much quarrel and trouble all over the world. क्योंकि इंडिया अपना जो कर्तव्य है वो भूल गया है, वो अपना कर्तव्य नहीं निभा रहे, इसीलिए पूरे दुनिया इतना प्रॉब्लम में है. We are confident that if the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam is received only by the leading men of the world, certainly there will be change of heart. तो प्रभुपाद जी बोल रहे हैं कि अगर हम लोग, उनको विश्वास है कि अगर हम लोग जो बुद्धिमान लोग हैं वो लोग सब भक्त बनेंगे और ये जो भागवतम का मैसेज है सबको बांटेंगे, तो there will be change in the heart of the people. The mass people in general are tools in the hand of the modern politicians and leaders of the people. If there is a change of heart of the leaders only, certainly there will be radical change in the atmosphere of the world. तो यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे पॉइंट बोले कि जो लीडर्स होता है, जो उनको अगर हम लोग चेंज कर पाए, उनका अगर हृदय में परिवर्तन हुआ, तो बाकी लोगों का ऑटोमेटिक चेंज हो जाएगा, क्योंकि एवरीवन इज फॉलोइंग देम. So that's why we should preach to the people and we should try to make them into devotees. After all, it is a technical science of spiritual values. Thus, we are concerned with the techniques, not with the language. So, ये spiritual science. जैसे I remember there is one book that is called Spiritual Science, written by Chaitanya Charitamrita, wonderful book. So, ऐसे ही ये जो भागवतम भी जो है, ये spiritual science है, एक techniques भी है. If the techniques of this great literature are understood by the people of the world, there will be success. तो अगर लोग ये spiritual science को, techniques को समझेंगे, तो उनको जिंदगी में भी success मिल जाएगा, जरूर मिलेगा, guaranteed. There is no wonder that a person or nation attacks another person or nation on slight provocation. That is the rule of this age of Kali or quarrel. यही है कलियुग का प्रवृत्ति. Because one suffering from jaundice is reluctant to take sugar candy. तो हम लोग का यही हाल है, हम लोग को जॉन्डिस हुआ और हम लोग को शुगर कैंडी और जो डंडी का जूस, गन्ने का जूस दिया जा रहा है, लेकिन हम लोग को अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है अभी. बट वी शुड नो शुगर कैंडी इज द ओनली रेमेडी फॉर जॉन्डिस. लेकिन हम लोग का जो ये भवरोग हुआ है, ये भवरोग का जो एक ही दवाई है, इलाज है, वो है इस गन्ने का जूस. Similarly, let there be systematic propaganda for popularizing reading of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which will act like sugar candy for the jaundice-like condition of sense gratification. हम लोग को जो इंद्रिय तृप्ति करने का जो ये प्रवृत्ति है, ये जॉन्डिस जैसा परिस्थिति है. इससे हम लोग को निकालने के लिए हम लोग को भगवद गीता और भागवतम को डेली मेडिसिन की तरह डेली हम लोग को एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए. फिर एक टाइम आएगा जब हम लोग को इसका मिठास समझ में आएगा, इसका जो रसा है. Yes,
now 5 minutes more.
okay.
Accordingly, may speak not on every line or every highlighted line. May speak on one particular point from each verse and then come to.
Okay. So, and the next sloka, in the translation, we can see that what then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the beginning and transient by nature if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord. तो जो हम लोग देखते हैं अभी के दिन में जो भी लोग भक्ति नहीं करते हैं और लोग बाहर का काम में, मतलब जो मेटेरियलिस्टिक एक्टिविटीज में पूरा दिन बिता रहे हैं, वो सारे काम में उनको लग रहा है कि उनका आनंद है, लेकिन दैट इज वेरी पेनफुल, बट दे आर नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग. एंड ऑल्सो स्टार्टिंग में पेनफुल है, एंड में भी वो पेनफुल है. तो इफ दे आर नॉट यूटिलाइज्ड फॉर द डिवोशनल सर्विस ऑफ द लॉर्ड, क्योंकि क्या है कि वो लोग उनका जो रिजल्ट है उसको भी भगवान का सेवा में नहीं लगा रहे. Such speculative knowledge and fruitive work cannot lead one to the goal of perfection. Fruitive work in which almost people in general engage is always painful, either in the beginning and end. तो ये शुरू में भी painful है और end में भी painful है. And in the next sloka, the text number 30. So Vyasdeva, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless. You are firm in vow and sincere in truthfulness, and thus you can think of the pastimes of the Lord in triumphs for the liberation of the people in general from all material bondage. So Vyasdev and his representative are pure in thought due to their spiritual enlightenment fixed in their vows and determined to deliver fallen souls. So this is one of the quality of devotees जो हमेशा सोचते हैं कैसे बद्धजीव को उद्धार करेंगे, जो ये दुनिया में सड़ रहा है, rotting in this material activities, material world. And in the next sloka, text number 14, we can see that from the purport that the result is that people in general are puzzled how to fix their mind in the service of the Lord. They are always disturbed about finding the real path of self-realization. Srila Narada Dev, stressing this particular defect in the Vedic literatures compiled by Vyasdev, and thus is trying to emphasize describing everything in relation with the Supreme Lord. There is nothing existent except the Lord. The Lord is manifested in different expansion. He is the root and complete tree. तो भगवान जो है वो मेन पेड़ है. अभी हम उनका जड़ में अगर पानी देंगे तो फिर क्या होगा, हम लोग का पूरा बॉडी नरिश हो जाएगा. But the modern civilization, they are not pouring water on the root. They're pouring in different parts of the body. That's why they are not satisfied, because Krishna is not satisfied. They are not satisfied. Bhagavatam, which alone can give accurate direction for self-realization in eternal relation with the personality of Godhead by devotion service in transcendental. तो भगवतम जो है वो हम लोग को सेल्फ रिलेशन भी दे सकते हैं और भगवान का चरण में जो प्रेम प्राप्ति वो भी हम लोग को दे सकते हैं. Now the 15th sloka. The human beings by long material association, life after life, have a natural inclination by practice to endeavor to lord it over material nature. तो ये हम लोग का बहुत 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 जिंदगी से हम लोग को ये प्रवृत्ति है एंजॉयर बनने का. एंजॉयर मतलब भगवान का जैसा एंजॉयर बनने का, लेकिन हम लोग का एंजॉय कभी नहीं बन सकते. हम लोग प्रकृति है. दिस ह्यूमन फॉर्म ऑफ लाइफ इज अ चांस टू गेट आउट ऑफ द क्लचेस ऑफ इल्यूजन एनर्जी. तो हम लोग को ये मौका मिला है कि भगवतम जाने का, भक्ति करने. The human form of life is a chance to get out of the imprisoned life, and such only occupation of human being is to reestablish its lost relationship with God. तो ये हम लोग का एक ही काम है, और भगवान के साथ हम लोग का जो रिलेशनशिप है उसको फिर से एस्टेब्लिश करना. एंड जैसे भागवत गीता में बोला है कि सर्वधर्मान् परित्याज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज. Then in the text 16, the Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserve to understand this knowledge of the spiritual values. तो हम लोग जैसे देखते हैं कि बहुनाम जन्म नामांतर, बहुत बहुत एक इंसान के अंदर में एक होता है ज्ञानी, उसके अंदर में एक होता है जो भक्ति को समझता है, और वो जो लोग भक्ति समझता है उसके अंदर में कोई एक होता है जो भगवान को भक्त बन जाता है, उन पे सरेंडर करता है. इस अनअटैच्ड टू मटेरियल इंजन एक डिवोटी का क्वालिटी होता है, वो कभी भौतिक जो आनंद पूर्ति है उसमें वो कभी रुचि नहीं रखते. देयर इज ही इज द राइट पर्सन टू डिस्क्राइब, और ऐसा ही व्यक्ति भागवतम को डिस्क्राइब कर सकते हैं. तो यहाँ पे भागवतम डिस्क्राइब की क्वालिफिकेशन है. डिवोशनल सर्विस इज डायनामिक एक्टिविटी एंड द एक्सपर्ट डिवोटीज कैन फाइंड आउट competent means to inject it into dull brains of the materialistic population. And in the 17th sloka, that is that's also famous sloka, Tyakta Sadharmam Charanam Buddha. It is enjoined that in the scriptures that one can relinquish all such duties and surrender unto the service of the Lord. तो कोई अगर शास्त्र को पढ़ेंगे श्रद्धा के साथ, फिर क्या होगा, उनको सारे जो दिव्य ज्ञान उनका हृदय में प्रकाशित होगा, उनको सारे जो एक्चुअल ड्यूटी है सधर्म उनको पता चलेगा. लोगों को अपना अपना सधर्म समझ सोता है. कोई बोलता है कि उनका कर्म जो होता है वो सधर्म है, कोई बोलता है कि उनका फैमिली को देखना वो सधर्म है. बट एक्चुअली स्क्रिप्चर में जो बोला गया है वो सधर्म है, तो कि भगवान का सेवा कर रहे हैं. But in spite of all this, the stress is given here to surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Lord, even if there is a chance of falling down, because even thou the falls down from the prescribed duties of the devotion service. कोई अगर भक्ति कर रहा है उसमें अगर उनका फॉल डाउन भी हो जाता है कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन कोई अगर भक्ति नहीं कर रहा है वो जितना भी अच्छा काम कर ले, लेकिन उनका हमेशा उनका वो जो काम है उनका कोई वैल्यू नहीं रहता है. जैसे हम लोग यहाँ पे एग्जांपल दिया आजामिल का. आजामिल पहले भक्त था, बाद में उनका फॉल डाउन हो गया, लेकिन स्टिल बाद में भगवान की कृपा से वो फिर करेक्ट हो गया और भगवत धाम चला. Then the 18th sloka, here it is told that it is said that on the moon the inhabitants, so यहाँ पे अलग अलग जो लेवल ऑफ हैप्पीनेस है वो यहाँ पे दिखाया गया है मटेरियल लेवल में. by the good work only are prescribed in the scripture can obtain birth and good family. हम लोग को अच्छा कर्म रहता है तो उसी से हम लोग को क्या होता है, हम लोग को अच्छा जन्म मिलता है, फैमिली मिलता है, ऑपुलेंट मिलता है और अच्छा पढ़ाई भी मिलता है. नहीं तो हम लोग जो कुछ भी मिल रहा है इस जिंदगी में ये नहीं मिल पाता. So the position of the topmost Brahmaloka to the lowest Patal Loka is always changeable. लेकिन ये दुनिया में जो भी पोजीशन है वो हमेशा चेंज होता रहता है. तो हम लोग को क्या करना चाहिए, परमानेंट सॉल्यूशन के पीछे जाना चाहिए, देखना चाहिए कि व्हाट इज द परमानेंट सॉल्यूशन. हम लोग हमेशा सुख के पीछे ढूंढ रहे हैं लेकिन फिर भी मिजरी आ जा रहे हैं. तो वो परमानेंट सॉल्यूशन, व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन, दैट इज भक्ति, टू रेंडर डिवोशनल सर्विस, एंड वन शुड ओनली एंडेवर टू गो बैक टू गॉड. हम लोग को बस भगवत धाम जाने के लिए काम सेवा करना चाहिए, सर्विस करना चाहिए. That should be the mission of everyone's life. ये हम लोग का जीवन का मिशन होना चाहिए. And the text 19 में a devotee perform purport. A devotee of the Lord automatically become uninterested in the enjoyment of material existence. एक भक्त जो होता है वो ये सब जो भौतिक जो सुख भोग है इसमें कोई रुचि नहीं रखता है, क्योंकि वो रसग्रह होता है. वो भगवान का चरण का जो सुगंध है और जो स्वीटनेस है उसका जो स्वाद है उसको मिल गया ऑलरेडी. तो यहाँ पे एक बहुत सुंदर चीज बोला है कि जो भौतिक दुनिया के लोग है वो भी लोग भी सफरिंग कर रहे हैं और कभी कभी देखिए डिवोटीज भी सफरिंग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन दोनों का सफरिंग बहुत अलग है. एक जो डिवोटीज होता है दे हैव द अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट कृष्णा इज मेकिंग मी प्यूरिफाइड, दैट्स व्हाई वो मेरे को सफरिंग दे रहे हैं और मेरे को और ज्यादा सफरिंग मिलने वाला था लेकिन भगवान उनको बहुत कम कर दिया. तो ये दिस इज द डिफरेंसेस. और हमेशा वो एक सुप्रीम फादर के अंदर में है, लेकिन जो मेटेरियलिस्टिक है वो किसके अंदर में नहीं है, वो माया के अंदर में है. So the devotees who become helpless by the will of the Lord is more fortunate than those who are born in good families. तो अगर एक भक्त बहुत खराब सिचुएशन में चले गए, उनको बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी वो अगर भक्ति कर रहा है, तो still he is very fortunate. But the devotees who is put into fallen condition is most fortunate because he swiftly return to the lotus feet of the Lord. और वो जरूर वापस आएगा. कभी-कभी हो सकता है कि कोई डिवोटी का फॉल डाउन हो जाए, लेकिन फिर भी वो वापस आएगा, क्योंकि जिनको एक बार भक्ति का स्वाद मिल गया उनको ये दुनिया का और कोई स्वाद उनको नहीं लगता. Pure devotion service is so spiritually realizable that a devotee becomes automatically uninterested in material enjoyment. ये जो शुद्ध भक्ति है इनका जो स्वाद है इतना ज्यादा है कि वो एक बार किसी को मिल जाता है तो उनको और भौतिक दुनिया का आनंद में कोई रुचि नहीं रखता. Pure devotee continuously remember the lotus feet of the Lord and doesn't forget for a moment. एक शुद्ध भक्त एक मुहूर्त के लिए भी भगवान का चरण को नहीं भूलते हैं. Not even in the exchange of all opulence of the world. चाहे उनको तीन दुनिया तीन भुवन का सारे ऐश्वर्य दे दिए जाए, लेकिन फिर भी उनका कोई रुचि नहीं है भौतिक दुनिया का चीज, उनको बस भक्ति चाहिए. थैंक यू गुरु. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. You have highlighted on a very highlighting point of Prabhupada. Quite interesting to hear your presentation. I will just echo in what Sri Somnath Prabhu was hearing from this particular section. Can better appreciate the way Prabhupada is emphasizing in his purports, especially these verses, verse number 8 to verse number 22. 8 to 22, Prabhupada gives amazing purports. Each one of these purports have a very powerful statements. Therefore, when I think Somnath Prabhu is trying to highlight, and he's highlighting every statement, because the purport is like that. Prabhupada prepared Srimad Bhagavatam first canto before he went for preaching in the West. So that means Hare Krishna. So my voice is clear.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes. So Prabhupada has very much emphasized on opportunities. I mean, wherever he got opportunity to glorify pure devotional service, he has elaborately described those verses. And these verses which are mentioned from verse 8 to 22, this verse where Narada, after diagnosing the problem of Vyasadeva, is inspiring him to only speak on devotional service. See, the two defects which Narada pointed out was too much emphasis on dharma, kama, moksha. Second defect was not emphasizing or not repeating the glorification of the Lord or Bhakti Yoga. If you see, it is all the answer, it is all these verses from text number 8 to 22. Narada is repeatedly telling about Bhakti Yoga. Huh? So he is not only telling the solution, he is actually living the solution. He is practicing the solution in his one's life, Narada. Sometimes devotees feel very annoyed or very awkward or very disturbed when they are asked not to intensify their bhakti when they are in problem. They rather want that the practical solution should be there for the problem, not intensify bhakti and things. But problem kya hai ki no matter what you do with the material life, the suffering manifests in one form or other. You may have problem of money, and you for resolving it, you may do any means and get money. But the suffering which you are going through because of not having money, that suffering will come in a different way. You will have money, but the suffering will take another form, in a form of a disease or a form of lack in relationships or in a form of anxieties. The suffering won't, just by getting money, you will not be free from your sufferings. Money can only give you some temporary concept of illusory concept of relief. We are not relieved at all from the sufferings. So devotees has to take shelter of bhakti. So maybe I request Somnath Prabhu, you only open those verses which you are Bhagavatam, go to that verse.
Yes, Prabhu.
What will happen is,
Should I share the screen, Prabhu?
you please share.
Okay, Prabhu.
Then what happens is highlighting points also will be more highlighted. Go to the verse number
10. That's number 10.
9, not 10, or 10. Somebody can repeat after. Very, very amazing shlokas these are. So, who will repeat? We will go in a line. Somnath, you can repeat. Then Rajiv, Prabhu, and others.
Prabhu, I can repeat.
Okay, fine. Nayadvachaschitrapadam hare yasho
Nayadvachaschitrapadam harera yasho
jagat pavitram pragrinita karihechit
jagat pavitram pragrinita karshit
tadvaya samtirdamushanti manasa
tadvasam tirtham usanti manasa
nayatra hamsa niramanti shakshaya.
nayatra hamsa niramanti usikshaya.
Read the translation.
Translation. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all perfect persons are inhabitants of the intranscendental abode, they do not drive any pleasure there.
So here we see a very important aspect. Like I mentioning, there are two defects which Narada pointed out in Vyasadev's composition. One is too much emphasis on the mundane sense gratification through the form of karma kandi sections which he has given. So here, in order to highlight this particular defect, here Narada is speaking about in this verse about those literatures which are mundane in nature, which are called as dead literatures. These literatures are called dead because they whoever take shelter of this literature, they become spiritually dead. You see, whether it's the newspaper or the magazine or anything which is there prominent in the world, it is emphasizing on the eating, sleeping, mating, and defending of this metal world. And they're very nicely composed. In fact, many people may be awarded prizes or awarded titles because of that glorification of it is like a sometimes on sex, sometimes on money, and sometimes on the food, meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. So these literatures have over glorified this aspect. And this is not Vyasadeva written. Vyasadeva written books on Karmakandi sections. There is emphasizing on enjoying material life with taking shelter of Vedas. But he has emphasized very much on that. But in order to tell what is the uselessness of a any literature which is not having glorification of the Lord, speaking about mundane literature here, the dead literature. One who takes a lot of pleasure in reading a mundane literature. Again, it's not just a book. It can be in a video format also. It can be in a message format, like it can be a WhatsApp also. It can be Twitter also. It can be Facebook also. Even that also a source of literature. People are referring and trying to, or it can be a movie industry also, through media also it can be, entertainment industry also. So all this what is happening is overemphasizes on the four Purusharthas, or not even four Purusharthas. They're emphasizing on basic eating, sleeping, mating, defending, or they're emphasizing on the illicit four regulative principles of meat eating, intoxication, gambling. There is no problem. There are books written about what is the problem of having sex. You can have sex and then get moksha from that. So, like that, there are too much emphasis. These people are compared like a crows. What a crow does, they'll not go to a pond. They'll go to a filthy place. A lot of things are getting rotten. And black juice is coming out of that rotten garbage. And the crow keeps its beak inside that rotten liquid, black thick liquid, which is coming, and start tasting it. And he finds a great pleasure in it. For example, somebody who's finding interest in mundane literature, especially on a woman and money, they are compared to like the 2-3 men who are cutting the frog or cutting a dead rat, dead rotten rat, and squeezing it and taking out the juice of it and drinking it. It's like that. Literally, that is what is being spoken by Narada to Vyasadeva. That's literature. And therefore, the fans then don't take pleasure in it. So now in the next verse, what is the next verse? He's emphasizing on the second defect, that is of Vyasadeva's composition. That is, he has not repeatedly glorified the Lord in his compositions. So therefore, he's telling about the importance of the divine literature. Can somebody read it? Repeat it, maybe after Somnath, you can repeat. Tadvaga visargo janataga viplavo
Tadvaga visargo janataga viplavo
yasmin pratishlokam abadvatyapi
yasmin prati slokam avatvatpati
namani anantasya yashonkitani yat
namani anantasya yasonikantya
manti gayanti grananti sadava.
Shrimanti gayanti grinanti sadava.
What is the translation?
On the other hand, that literature, which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious life of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest.
See, no matter how a particular movie or a newspaper or a magazine is very attractive in the information which is presenting, after some time now they become very old and very dull. Is it not? A newspaper remains for a day, and a magazine may remain for a week, and a movie may remain for months. But something which remains eternally and it is repeatedly being taken shelter of and finding relishment is only the divine literature. And again, this divine literature is not Vedic literature, which is emphasizing on Karma Kandi sections. Okay. Here, Narada is very much clearly mentioning about full of descriptions of transcendental glories, names, forms, and pastime. And this, even though not composed properly, that means what? Most of the time, we are attracted to the marketing section of a product. How the product is, how it is packaged, and how it is being advertised, and how it being promoted through various sources, various ways. That is me very much emphasized. Unfortunately, in our preaching techniques also, we go into so much about the packaging. But unfortunately, the substance is undermined. Substance is undermined. Packaging is okay, but substance should not be compromised. The intent and the content of the mundane literature or the dead literature, which we are seeing outside very famously going about. Nowadays, this pilgrimage of crows is very beautified, very good. Many wonderful gods are made around the pilgrimage of crows. And many restaurants are coming around. People are coming and taking selfies there and enjoying the moment where they're about to dive into that gutter, which is a black thick liquid, and trying to taste it through all their senses. So the eyes, they're very much attracted to this mundane literature. Ears, they want to hear that sweet songs. And to tongue, they want to taste that. This way we see the pilgrimage of crows is very much well decorated, well beautified, well promoted, well advertised, and well connected through the roadways and airways and railways. And therefore, people are spending so much money in this, in enjoying this type of mundane pilgrims of crows. But when pilgrimages of swans, they're less promoted, they're less emphasized. There are very less trains which go to those places. And hardly there is a way to approach that place. One has to take a very hard work. Even after approaching those places, still in that places also there is a stalls on mundane literature. And a person is diverted. That means what? Narada is telling Vyasadeva, Baba, already people are so much diverted in their life because of some gratification. And there's only shelter, that is Vedas. And when they come to the Vedas, which is like a pilgrimage of swans, there also you kept so many shops of mundane literature. There's a mundane movie or something very which is appealing to their sense gratificatory ideas. You have promoted those aspects. Sometimes you see, you come to ISKCON, but you hear how to control the mind, how to gain a powerful strength over the mind. How can you make your relationship with your wife and children very nice and blissful, happy, and enjoy life nicely? So if that is only emphasis in that connection with an ISKCON temple, then actually you are being deprived of the main glorification, which happens every day in the morning Mangalarati, every day in morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. That we miss it. Therefore, it's necessary that the swan pilgrimages are filled with repeated glorification of the Lord. Therefore, we need to find means by which we can get the people into experience pure devotional principles, hearing, chanting, and this. That's what here is being emphasized here. So we are not just interested in the packaging. We are very much interested in the content which we are giving to the people. Packaging, yes, you can make it appealing to the people, but only thinking about it and about how should it be presented. Yes, aisa karna, aisa karna. Just like I remember, we are going to one place for giving preaching. People are only interested in prasad. They're only interested in prasad. So many times we endeavored, okay, nice menu should be there so that people will come. So that is necessary. But however, if only a nice menu is there and they come, they attend the kirtan sometime and then they hardly hear the kada and they come for prasad time and sit in a row and eat. That is not a preaching program. Maybe I am doing it, but there's no other option. But in that we need to refine it. To refine it and emphasize to the people. Just don't come for prasad and eat and go. It's not for entertainment. It's for edutainment. You need to have education about pure devotion. Take this very serious. Otherwise, just for namesake, you conduct a program and people are interested only to have a party in a preaching. Instead of a preaching program, it's only a party. Weekend parties. So that won't help. Preaching program means there should be a glorification of the Lord. Bhagavad Kada should happen. Even though the presentation may not be very appealing, there is repeated glorification of Krishna that is meant. In this way, Narada is telling Arey, you should not have done this. Rather, you would have composed, Prabhuji, नारद मुनि प्रभु मेरे को तो इतना कैसे लिखूंगा भगवान ग्लोरिफिकेशन रिपीटेड कर्मकांड के ऊपर लिखना है 6 सिस्टम्स ऑफ फिलॉसफी लिखना है तो बहुत कुछ लिख सकता है इसमें लिखने का उतना क्या है इसे नारद कहते हैं कि लिखने का उतना जरूरत नहीं इवन दो यू नॉट कंपोज प्रॉपर्ली नो प्रॉब्लम because it is a repeated glorification intelligent people will take shelter of it when intelligent people take shelter of it the rest follows it. It is because Srila Prabhupada has emphasized on writing Srimad Bhagavatam before he went for American preaching. We are reading Bhagavatam now. For example, just imagine, for the sake of imagination only, Srila Prabhupada had emphasized on writing Mahabharata. And he started preaching about Mahabharata. Maybe Prabhupada is so powerful. Prabhupada is so powerful and pure that he can make Mahabharata also a repeated glorification of the Lord. That he has, just imagine, for sake of imagination. If he has emphasized on something other than Bhagavatam, can you imagine what would our situation would be? We'll be only be proud and our head will be in the heights of that I am following Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha properly. And I am successful in life. This is not a success. This is useless. Success is devotional service. Same theme is continuing in last Bhagavad Gita class also. So Vedas, they speak on many things. For Arjuna, fight, you'll go to heaven. If you lose the battle, if you win the battle, you'll enjoy. And later on, Krishna says, forget about following the Vedas. Vedas has taken so much here and there. Follow me. Do everything for me. He started enlightening on pure devotional service. Okay. Go to the next verse. So after speaking about the divine literature and dead literature, here Narada Muni he started glorifying the bhakti. the pure devotional service from this verse onwards. Okay. Somebody else would like to take the lead in the citation? After Somnath Prabhu, Amritendu Prabhu. Not responding, and Anand Garam. Is it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Naishkarmam apyachyuta bhava varjitam.
नैष्कर्म्यमप्य अच्युत भाववर्जितम्
न शोभते ज्ञानम अलम निरंजनम.
न शोभते ज्ञानं मलं निरञ्जनम्
कुतः पुनः शश्वत अभद्रमीश्वरे.
कुतः पुनः शश्वत् अभद्रमीश्वरे
कुतः पुनः शाश्वत अभद्रमीश्वरे.
कुतः पुनः शाश्वत् अभद्रमीश्वरे
न चार्पितं कर्म यत् अप्यकारणम.
न चार्पितं कर्म यद् अप्यकारणम्
Here is the translation.
Knowledge of the self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities, which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord?
Yeah. See here the word, go to the verse, the word Naishkarmya is there, no? It is translated self-realization, being freed from the reactions of relative. So the acharyas give two meanings for it. Naishkarma. Naishkarma means that activity does not give any reaction. Okay. That means it is not speaking about direct bhakti. Bhakti is called as akarma. But here Naishkarma means one does an activity without aspiring for any fruitive results from it. Detached from the particular aspect of that, fruitive mentality. So that is one aspect. And the nice karma also, Acharya say, Prabhupada also in the purport is highlighting on those aspects, is that work with detachment, nishkama karma. You work with
The sound is not coming.
Ah, sorry. Go to the next verse. Somebody can repeat.
Prabhuji, I can do.
Yeah, yeah. Ato Mahabhaga Bhavan Amogadrik
Ato Mahabhaga Bhavan Amogadvik
Shutishrava Satya Rato Drita Vrita
Shuchi Srava Satyarato Drita Vrata
Urukramasyakhila Bandha Muktaye
Urukramasya Kila Banda Muktaye
Samadhina Suma Samadhina Nusmara Tadvichestitam.
Samadhina Nusmara Tadvichestitam.
This is the translation.
O Vyasdeva. Prabhuji, I can't say. Oh Vyasdeva, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless. You are in vow and situated in the truthfulness. And thus you can think of the pastimes of Lord in trance for the liberation of people in general from the material bondage.
Yeah, Somnath, go, you keep the word to word meaning and translation. Yeah, thank you. See, here Narada is actually trying to tell the strengths of Vyasadeva. He said Vyasadeva for composing literature which is for pure devotional service, divine literature, which is full of glorification of the Lord. There are certain qualities needed, and those qualities are there with you, Vyasadeva. See, Vyasadeva has committed a blunder, you can say, in terms of composing something in which people are getting diverted. But once he because committed mistake, it doesn't mean that devotional service doesn't give an opportunity for a person to rectify it and go ahead. So Krishna is like Jagannath. What Jagannath does, he keeps his eyes open, very wide, and he sees whatever good intentions, whatever good qualities a devotee has, and tries to highlight it. And Krishna is like Padmanabha, like the Sri Ranga in the Ranganath. It's like Ranganath and Padmanabha, who are in a slumber with half closed eyes. What is half closed eyes represent? Half closed eyes means Krishna is forgiving the little mistakes which a devotee does. So Jagannath is highlighting good qualities and Ranganath is forgiving. ठीक है चलेगा छोड़ दो आधा आग बंद करके बोलते हैं ना हम लोग ठीक है चलेगा अब बोले जब भी आप बोलेंगे तो किसी को क्षमा करने आपकी आग आधा बंद हो जाता है ठीक है ठीक है अब आगे बढ़िए नो प्रॉब्लम तब देखिए आग बंद हो जाता है ठीक है तो दैट्स व्हाट रंगनाथ डज इज क्लोजेस हिज आईज ठीक है नो प्रॉब्लम प्लीज कंटिन्यू हेड so here Narada is representing the guru na Vyasdeva's life. He's telling you have very wonderful complete perfect your vision is completely perfect अमोघ दृक देखने का चीज परफेक्ट है आपका your good fame is spotless suchi sava famous you're famous not for wrong things you're spotless satya radha you are situated in the war of truthfulness ritavrataha fixed in spiritual qualities urukramasyaha urukramasya means one who performs supernatural activities. You are not an ordinary birth. Your birth is for not ordinary literature composition. अरे अभी तक जो किताब लिखा है ये सब छोटा छोटा मोटा किताब है उसके लिए आपकी जन्म नहीं हुआ है आपकी जन्म और एक पर्पस के लिए हुआ है देखो अभी अखिल बंध मुक्त ये can think of the pastimes of the Lord in a way by which people could be liberated from their bondage, which they are there. When actually your thinking can liberate others. Can you imagine? That type of ability you have, Narada. And then he is further, go to the next verse. Very interesting. These verses are very personal. Narada is telling to Vyasada. Somebody else would like to listen? We will go in the line sequences. Atul Prabhu. Atul?
Prabhu Hare
Ivan is
Krishna.
also there?
Prabhu, I'm there. He's doing puja because
Okay.
late.
Fine.
So can I repeat, Prabhu?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Prabhu.
Tato vanyata kinchana yat vibhakshata
Tatonyatha kinchana yad vivakshata
pritagdrishastat kritarupa namabhi
पृथक् दृशस्तत्कृतरूपनामभि
nakarhi kwapi cha dushtitat mater
न करहि चित् कपि च दुष्टिता मातिर्
nakarhi kwapi cha dushtita mater
न करहि चित् क्वापि च दुष्टिता मतेर्
nabetavata hatanaurivapsadam.
लवेतवाहता नौर्विवाष्पदम्.
Read the translation.
Whatever you desire to describe that is separate in vision from the Lord simply reacts with different forms and names to agitate the mind, as the wind agitates a boat which has no resting place.
Yeah. So basically, he's telling that you have a very good intelligence, you have a very good sight, perfect sight, and your thinking can uplift others. So, and you also have some negative consignment, okay, negative aspect. What is that? Whatever you whatever you describe is separate from the Lord. It will simply react with different forms and names. So your thinking has a very great ability, either to make the people towards Krishna or break the people away from Krishna. So anything you describe separate from the Lord, it will simply agitate them. Just like a boat. See, boat example is given because everyone's mind is like a boat. It has to be anchored. It will be grounded to Bhagavatam, the Shuddha Bhakti. If the mind is not grounded, how can the mind be grounded to Shuddha Bhakti? By relishing the pure devotional services. The Navaveda Bhakti, whatever you take relishment in Shravanam, hearing, and in chanting Japa and Kirtanam, preaching activities, in rendering service, your mind should get absorbed into it. And if mind is absorbed in that, it's like a boat which is anchored. And no matter whatever winds come, it will not agitate the boat. It may agitate, but it will remain fixed. But if mind is not anchored, you are not anchored in the mind of the people to bhakti. What you do instead of that, you started throwing the wind of different explanations other than the glorification of the Lord. And those wind, what is taking? It is taking the boat from either, thither, and going. And some boats are getting sinking. Some boats are getting broken. People are either absorbed too much in self-gratification, or because of that absorption, their hearts are broken or their mind is disturbed. So much diversion. See, just imagine Vyasdev, because Vyasdev has so many literatures. We have so many within Hinduism, within Sanatana Dharma, there are many variety of people. And everyone take license of Vedas and do all wrong things. Revolve. Revolve, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, you are now audible.
Yeah. Where I was explaining, I think somewhere I was speaking, and then right away, and I don't know what happened. Somebody can say?
Prabhuji, he was telling that some boat got sunk and some boat got diverted in the ocean.
The boat, yeah. So basically, Narada is telling Vyasadeva, Arey, you are supposed to write literature which will actually uplift the people, but you have written so many things which have diverted the people. Read the translation, go to the translation. Whatever you describe, that is separate from vision. You have described actually separate from the vision of the Lord, from the Lord. Then it simply reacted different forms of worship and names to agitate the mind. Names, matlab this thing, that thing you do. Like that, you have agitated their mind. Then Vyasadeva is telling, Are Narada Prabhu, I have written, you already told earlier that I have written Mahabharata, everything for the, and then in Mahabharata, I brought them to Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is before Kurukshetra. And after Kurukshetra, then Bhagavatam started. Huh? In this way, Mahabharata comes, which is very amazing literature. Then why you are telling like this? Then he tells the next verse. Go to the next verse. 16th verse. Nice, sir. 15th verse. Yeah. Somebody can repeat? Achal ho gaya na. So Krishnam Rajapur.
Yes, Prabhu.
Jugupshita karma krite anushasata.
Jugupsitam dharma kritenushasatah
Svabhavaraktasya mahan vyatikrama.
स्वभावरक्तस्य महान् व्यतिक्रमः
Stito.
यद्वाक्यतो धर्म इति तारस्थितो
Yadvakyato dharma iti tarastito.
यद्वाक्यतो धर्म इति तरस्थितो
Namanyate tasya nivaranam jana.
न मन्यते तस्य निवारणं जनः.
Yeah, this is the translation.
The people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. This is verily condemned and is quite unreasonable. Because they are guided under your instructions, they will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions.
So he has given so many details of other literatures in the Mahabharata that people get diverted into it. Giving an example, not Mahabharata, Ramayana. That description which is given about Rama eating meat, mamsa. So there is a lot of not too much diversion of people discussing about it. Why Lord Ram has eaten meat? That means we can also eat meat. Actually, it was not meat; it was the flesh of a fruit. The fruit is called flesh, and that is not raw flesh of an animal. The fruit is kandamul. Like that, lot of. So basically, point is the situation, this particular issue came in front of Prabhupada regarding eating meat. Then Prabhupada immediately started this type of discussion. He started the devotees are simply fighting for something which is of no relevance. Instead of focusing on bhakti, they're focusing on the Ram meat. Okay, we have to take something here. Like that there was too much. No problem for eating meat. So basically, Prabhupada actually started questioning the devotees. Arey, why you waste your time in all this? So here Vyasdev is telling same thing. You have made them already they are inclined to enjoy, and you encouraged that. And what you gave the name of that? You gave the name of religion, dharma, your scriptures. And people feel अरे amazing. मतलब मैं दारू भी पी सकता हूँ और मैं धार्मिक हूँ, मैं मैं धार्मिक, ऐसा आइडिया तो व्यासदेव ने सब में print preaching. To bring them to that level to accept it. And what they do? Bridge preach. But problem with bridge preaching is we remain on the bridge only. We don't cross and come to Shuddha Bhakti. And if we don't do that, how can we expect the followers to do that? They may not come. They may go to the other side of the bridge. They may only go to the other side and tell you. Actually, Bhagavad, they wanted to take people to the bridge towards redemption. In actually, we should be like that. We should be like a good physician. We should restrict people to not have something which is very much dangerous. That we have managed. And next, same theme continues. Haribol Somnath, go to the next verse. Same theme continues. Haribol?
Yes, bro. I have already said, bro. I have already
Yeah,
said.
yeah. Ritakshano Sharati Vedutam Vibhor.
Vichaksano syarati veditam vivo.
Ananta Parasya Nivrita Sukham
Anantaparasya nibrita sukham.
Pravartamanasya Gunair Anatmanas
Pravartamanasya gunayatmanas.
Tato Bhavan Darshaya Chestitam Vibho.
Tato bhavandasya chestitam vivo.
This is the translation.
The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality, retired from the activities of material happiness, deserve to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through description of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord.
So, same theme is cleaning. That is object of they will understand things. How they will then understand? Narada is saying, don't worry. There are classes who separate milk from water and separate, like that. He is basically there. अब जो कह रहे हैं नारद मुनि बोल के there are who are not so well stated due to middle attachment. I will take. Don't think about think about the class. You do class literature. Mask check क्या कर रहे हैं? टीचिंग ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. तो शुद्ध शुद्ध भक्ति का प्रचार करो, मिलेंगे लोग. So they will understand this. You should not work the mass. Officially, there are people who take the bhakti, but even they are not given right direction. Focus on class. Focus on the class. Focus on genuine people do Shuddha Bhakti, it will happen. So, and then Vyasadeva actually has started selecting. And he selected his own son. Like that, he started selecting people who are actually can relate, and they will further propagate this Bhagavatam and try to see what are the means by which they can be, people could be connected to Bhagavatam. But you must, if Vyasdev doesn't give Bhagavatam, then how it will happen? Compromising all people. So in our preaching now, we should not compromise. It's not good actually. Doesn't mean that you start there will be somebody in your group and more relevant for the others. Compromise. See, Prabhupada did that. Prabhupada did this. He made it more relevant to people and because purely and through Sukadeva it came down the line. He had Govind restaurants, he had dancing Kirtan, devotional service only. So he had singing, celebrating festivals like Radha Yatra and others. In this, there will be people, there will be class of people who will be who can and then what you call make relevant ways to of things to make and the next three 17, 18 and 19. Go to these three verses tell about how Narada is telling Vyasadeva in this bhakti glorification after your own bhakti is happening. There is no loss, my Prabhu. Whatever till now you had, but now if you cannot complete it, then you are not a you are a great success. In glorifying bhakti, you are actually performing bhakti. In describing bhakti principles in Bhagavatam, you actually perform bhakti. And there is no law in the idea Narada telling like that in 17, 18, and 19. Yeah. We can repeat Roshni Mata.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Roshni?
हाँ, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मां चरणाम्बुजं हरेर्
युक्ता स्वधर्माचरणाम्बुजं हरे
अपक्वो पतेतयो यदि
हर्षण भगवत पतेतयो यदि यत्र वा भद्रभूतमुस्य किम्
भजतां स्वधर्मता
को वार्थ आप तो भजताम स्वधर्मता. One who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in the devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage, yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties does not gain anything.
Actually, today in this today's session, we are supposed to read only till 16th verse. Because afterwards, because each and every. However, we will complete it as we have scheduled it till 19. So this particular Nadish President Vyasdev, till now your occupation, you were in different situation. You had a different occupation, writing for the welfare of all people. Now you write for Shuddha Bhakta. There are potential pure devotees in the world, right? You write pure devotional service, especially for the Shuddha Bhaktas. This way, there is no loss in it. In doing such activity, because no matter how much you went of bhakti, and you start from that point. Neha vikramanasho sadyavayona vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayato hato bhata. Even a small endeavor in devotional service can protect one from a greater danger. Somebody fall because of maturity. Then what happens? Krishna will give a chance for him to grow again. The examples in only which Vyasadeva has compiled. Jamila, all of you know the Jamila. He was also immaturity. And then Lord Narayana. We have Bharat Maharaj. Because of his immaturity, he fell. But again, he was given a chance. We have Chitraketu Maharaj, who was also fell. And why don't you follow that path? On the other hand, you may continue writing those which emphasizing on the moksha, and it will not gain anything. Therefore, don't live for others. Don't live to show to others. You have to live for others. Living for others, selfless attitude is positive. Without bhakti, selfless is positive. Krishna's pleasure is center. You cultivate selflessness, that will be effective. Without Krishna in the center, no? Cultivating selflessness is no. It will only the people in a different direction. And then direct devotional services is very much emphasized here. And then after how this next telling in the next verse, go to the verse. One endeavors only for this bhakti. That's what is explained. Okay, somebody can read. Okay. Maybe again so. Maybe Somnath Prabhu can. Saivayeto prayate tako vido.
Saivahetu prayate tako vida.
Nalapate yad brahmatam uparyatha.
Nalabhyate yad brahmatam uparyata.
Labhyate dukkha tat sukham.
Labhyate dukkavad anyatya sukham.
Arena sarvatra ghabhira ramhasa.
Kalena sarvatra gavira ramhasha.
Yeah.
Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end, which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet Patala. as far as happiness is derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time. Just as in course of time, we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them.
So nobody wants misery. You see, in this world, nobody wants misery. Still they come. I need to pray for, oh Lord, give me some misery so that I can be, remembering you. You don't pray like that, but miseries come. Similarly, you should not be enlightened when you get some enjoyment. Because I endeavored, I got enjoyment. It is defined, it is allotted, therefore it is coming to you. So misery is a mixed happiness. Not used, nor it cannot be increased. Misery, if you say that misery is reduced, not possible. If you say I will increase my happiness, not possible. It is fixed. It is fixed. Therefore, an intelligent person that does not waste his time in trying to reduce his misery, his happiness. What he does in doing devotional service. That intelligence who uses his entire energy, resources in uplifting oneself in bhakti is a proper person. So we should do endeavors in which direction? Self-preservation. Self-preservation. We should do self-preservation. And self-preservation ke saath saath we should be aware about self-awareness. We should have awareness of ourselves. Self-preservation, awareness. And then what you do after that? After preserving oneself, then you focus on self-realization. These three are very important words. Self-preservation with self-awareness, and then focus on self-realization. That's how we should keep our life. That's what this verse is speaking. Vyasadeva, Narada is telling him, now focus on self-realization, which is very much needed by everyone. Because they need to do self-preservation in line with the self-realization. Self-preservation, not in line with self-realization, will only keep you like an animal. Because the animal also thinks about self-preservation. But there is no self-realization added to it. First, the next last concluding verse of today's session, 19th verse. Navai jano jatu pratar chan braje. Anyone else? Atul is there? Atul?
Navaijano jatu kadana vraje.
Amukunda sivanyavad anga samsritim.
Mukunda sevyanyadvad anga samsrutam.
Smaran mukundangri upaguhanam punar.
Smaran mukundangri upaguhanam punar.
Vihatum ichchena rasagrahojana.
Vihatam uchena rasagraho jana.
What is the translation?
My dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down, somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruity workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again.
Yeah. So here, in this particular verse, Krishna is telling, Narada is telling to Vyasadeva how devotee doesn't undergo material existence like others. So 17th verse speaks about how even if fall down is there in bhakti, there's no loss. And the 18th verse speaks about, therefore a devotee should endeavor only to revive his eternal relation with Lord. Don't focus on other things. Happiness and distress, they'll come and go. They're allotted, they'll come and go. Better give that time in endeavoring for self-realization along with self-preservation. So that is all done. And then now he's saying that bhakti, the bhakta, while he's doing realization, yes, he has fell down one time, there's no loss, but he's again taking up and going ahead. He will not go material tribulations like others. Karma won't act on him directly. Karma will act on him through Krishna. That is what he's saying here. So how bhakti is very the progress in bhakti credited forever in one's life. Progress of bhakti is always credited. It will never be taken away from you. Sometimes after practicing for some years, he leaves Krishna consciousness, goes away. After going away, he feels very important things. Never forget him. On situations where he could be brought back. And at the time that tribulation are not because Krishna is directly involved. Krishna is directly involved in ensuring the protection of the devotee. He doesn't go to material tribulation like others. We will not go exist like that. There are some difficulties. Devotee goes through challenges. Devotee faces his anarthas. Still, his bhakti is credited. Because of the taste which a devotee had earlier, Rasa Graho Jana, sweet service to, he will not forget it. He will only in my laptop software, this Zoom is not working. Haribol, we can conclude here. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhagavatam. Thank you.